Exceptions aside, there are usually 2, if not 3 sides to every story, and chances are if you don't see that, you are probably not looking hard enough. Viva Frei, Montreal litigator turned YouTuber, vlogging at you yet again from my car, and if you hear a gentle humming in the background, it is because I'm running the AC. I've got a kid sleeping in the back. It is too hot outside to do this vlog in the car without the AC running. So the story of the day that is blasting its way through social media is yet another Karen story coming out of Central Park in New York, and can we fully appreciate how bad it is in 2020 to be named Karen? A woman being recorded going on what I think we can probably all agree, if it's not a racist rant, it is at the very least a racial rant against an individual whom she claimed to the police on the phone was threatening her in Central Park. If you have yet to see the video, I'm going to play it right now. You can watch it and come to your own conclusions. The individual who posted it on his Facebook page. His sister then posted it to Twitter, where it went super viral.
Would you please stop? Sir, I'm asking you to stop.
Please don't come close to me.
Sir, I'm asking you to stop recording me.
Please don't come close to me.
Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to
And
me.
I'm taking a picture and calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
Excuse me? I'm sorry, I'm in the Ramble, and there is a man, African-American, he has a bicycle helmet. He is recording me and threatening me and my dog. There is an African-American man, I am in Central Park. He is recording me and threatening myself and my dog. And I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man in the Ramble. Please send the cops immediately. I'm in Central Park in the Ramble. I don't know.
Thank you.
That is the video. The overall context is the woman in the video, Amy Cooper, was walking her dog off a lead in the Ramble in Central Park. The individual recording, Christian Cooper, was out there bird watching and had asked her to put her dog back on a leash because he was scaring away the birds or something to that effect. Mr. Cooper begins recording, which seems to put Ms. Cooper over the edge. She calls the police, says what she says, she treats her dog the way you see her treating the dog, and the internet just goes wild. People watching and reacting to this video, not knowing anything more about the broader context, are understandably coming to their own conclusions about racism, abusive process, the audacity to get the police involved, knowing how situations escalate when people get police involved. People watch the video, they share the video, they get enraged, they get incensed. It's a momentum that builds on itself. They don't just want justice, they want social media justice. And incidentally, Ms. Cooper has apparently been placed on a What happened? Okay, we'll go home. Apparently, Ms. Cooper has been placed on administrative leave where she works. She has voluntarily surrendered her dog to the rescue agency from which she got her dog within the span of a day based on a 69-second video that went viral on social media. If she hasn't ruined her life, she has certainly turned her life upside down. Now, I watched the video. I came to my initial conclusions, which I am always sure to double check because oftentimes your first conclusions are not necessarily the right conclusions. Now, the video is bad. Racializing situations is always bad. Getting police involved, potentially filing false police reports, and we'll get to that by the end of this video, is always bad. That said, and for those of you who have been hanging around my channel long enough, you will have heard me say in the past that in the practice of law, I can tell you from experience that there are always 3 sides to every story. There is one person's side, the other person's side, and the truth, and that usually fits somewhere in the middle. There are obviously exceptions, but that is the general rule. Another thing you might have heard me say in previous vlogs, when it comes to recording conversations, it is a double-edged sword. Anytime I have a client come up to me and tell me that they have been recording their conversations with other people, I start to ask myself questions and I in turn ask them questions. Why were they recording those conversations? What did they hope to achieve by recording those conversations, and who have they disclosed those recordings to? Recording conversations is a double-edged sword because it typically tends to change the behavior of the person who knows they are doing the recording. That, and I can tell you from my experience as a lawyer, that people tend to start and stop the recordings at the most favorable times to them. So I saw this recording, I had my initial reactions, I had my initial reflexes, I was disappointed that this is how adults are behaving in this day and age. I was somewhat less optimistic about the possibility of world peace when we can't even have peace among 2 adults in Central Park. But being a lawyer, thinking like a lawyer, I stepped back, I set aside my initial emotional reactions, and I asked myself the question I always ask myself, and it's a question everybody should always ask themselves. What, if any, additional facts could I learn that would radically change the way I am currently viewing this situation? This is an amazingly important mental exercise to carry out in each and every situation that you come across, in the news, in social media, in life. Do I have all the facts? If I don't have all the facts, do I have enough facts to come to a reasonably justifiable opinion on the subject? Are there facts that I know I don't know? Are there facts that I don't know I don't know? And that process process leads me to the thought experiment that I carry out in all of these situations. What fact would I have to learn that would radically change the way I am currently viewing the situation? There's the old expression that it takes two to tango. Well, guess what? In life, generally speaking, it also takes two to fight. From what we know of this situation, the Coopers got into an altercation because Mr. Cooper, who was out bird watching, asked Ms. Cooper to put her dog on a leash because the dog was off leash and scaring the birds away. Ms. Cooper said, no, my dog needs to get some exercise, and it led to the 69-second video we saw. The recording starts where it starts, it stops where it stops, the internet is on fire, a woman on the police, raising race, claiming she fears for her life when nothing in that video can seemingly justify her point of view. People coming to their conclusions based on the information they have, sharing their conclusions, tweeting, retweeting their conclusions, thinking that they have the true story. Everyone comes to their conclusions thinking that they have the truth, and I ask one question: would it change anything in your assessment of the facts if you found out that right before the individual started recording, he said, I'm gonna strangle you and your dog? Now, just so we're absolutely clear, Mr. Cooper did not say that, but he did say something prior to starting the recording. He describes what he said on his Facebook post where he posted this video, and what did he say? Central Park this morning, this woman's dog is tearing through the plantings in the ramble. Me, ma'am, dogs in the ramble have to be on the leash at all times. The sign is right there. Her, the dog runs are closed, he needs his exercise. Me, all you have to do is take him to the other side of the drive outside the ramble and you can let him run off leash all you want. Her, it's too dangerous. Me, look, if you're going to do what you want, I'm going to do what I want, but you're not going to like it. Her, what's that? Me, to the dog, come here, puppy. Her, he won't come to you. Me, we'll see about that. I pull out the dog treats I carry just for such intransigence. I didn't even get a chance to toss any treats to the pooch before scramble to grab the dog. Her, don't you touch my dog. That's when I started video recording with my iPhone and when her inner Karen fully emerged and took a dark turn. I wonder how many people who have already formed their opinions on the subject were aware of this fact before coming to their opinions. If they weren't aware of this fact prior to forming their opinions, now that they are aware of this fact, does it change their opinion? There is never an excuse for racism, full stop. Believe what you want to believe, but you have to treat every individual as an individual. But does this change anything as relates to Ms. Cooper calling the cops? Personally, if I am in fear of my life or my well-being, I'm going to extricate myself from that situation and then call the cops. I'm not going to sit there leaving myself in the danger while calling the cops. But now, knowing this additional piece of information, the situation has turned into one of Ms. Cooper, a woman alone in the woods with Mr. Cooper, a man. Mr. Cooper says to her, if you're going to do what you want to do, I'm going to do what I want to do, and you're not going to like it. And he calls over her puppy. To some, that might make Ms. Cooper's conduct a little more justifiable, and if it doesn't make it more justifiable, at the very least, it makes it more understandable. Whereas my initial reflex was to come to the conclusion that Ms. Cooper was in the wrong, part of me suspected that Mr. Cooper might also be in the wrong. And having a better understanding of the entirety of the context, I feel somewhat more justified in that belief. There are usually three sides to every story: one person's side, the other person's side, and the truth, which is generally speaking somewhere in the middle. When people start and stop recording, generally speaking, it's going to be at the most favorable time to them. Generally speaking, social media is not the place for these types of fights. All too often, when people publicize these types of fights, it's not for justice, it's for revenge. Mr. Cooper had in hand all the evidence that he might have needed if the police wanted to file charges against Ms. Cooper for filing a false police report. And incidentally, there might actually be a legal basis for the police to do so. The laws of New York, Consolidated Laws, Penal, Part 3, Section 240.50. Falsely reporting an incident in the third degree. A person is guilty of falsely reporting an incident in the third degree when, knowing the information reported, conveyed, or circulated to be false or baseless, he or she initiates or circulates a false report or warning of an alleged occurrence or impending occurrence of a crime, catastrophe, or emergency under circumstances in which it is not unlikely that public harm or inconvenience will result, or reports by word or action to an official or quasi-official agency or organization having the function of dealing with emergencies involving danger to life or property, an alleged occurrence or impending occurrence of a catastrophe or emergency which did not in fact occur or does not in fact exist, or gratuitously reports to a law enforcement officer or agency, A, the alleged occurrence of an offense or incident which did not in fact occur, or B, an allegedly impending occurrence of an offense or incident which in fact is not about to occur, or C, false information relating to an actual offense or incident or to the alleged implication of some person therein, or, and we don't care about the other ones. So in addition to having potentially lost her job, in addition to having lost her dog, Ms. Cooper might actually face charges for filing a false police report. Because Mr. Cooper decided to take this battle to social media, Ms. Cooper's life is basically upended. A lot of people are going to say good, she's getting what she deserves. Other people are going to say there's more to the story. There's always two sides to the story, and this is not the way that adults should fight their battles. I would only ask, was it worth it, and are we better off as a result? And I would emphasize the tremendous value in the thought experiment before jumping to conclusions, before jumping to post your conclusions to social media. Ask yourself, what fact would you have to learn that would radically change your entire way of viewing the situation? situation. The amazing thing about being wrong is that it feels exactly the same as being right. It's only when you realize that you were wrong that you feel bad. And with that said, I am sweating like an absolute pig. If you like my videos and you like my content, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop a comment in the comment section below because it feeds the algorithm. If you want to support the channel, all of these support links are in the pinned comment. But above all else, take care of yourselves, stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, get some sunlight, get some exercise, and be forgiving with one another. And now you know your vlog. Peace out.